All right, welcome back. In case you just joined us, this is still Daybreak Africa here on television, Nigeria. It's time to move to the dailies this morning to see what's topping the headlines.
And we have so many interesting headlines across the front pages of the national dailies this morning. We begin with the Nation newspaper with the banner headline, UN to Buhari, join dialogue with force to end insecurity. Different approaches must be adopted in difficult situations. President okay with UN support. And above the nameplate, PDP rep slams 774,000 jobs as illegal. It's politically motivated. And I saw a particular headline that was talking about a particular lawmaker trying to sue the federal government concerning the 774,000 jobs.
I mean, probably maybe because it was given to the House of Reps, most of the slots.
Possibly. All right, away from that and beside that, I will overcome COVID-19, says Abayomi, commissioner test positive. Talking about Lagos State Commissioner for Health, who tested positive for coronavirus. All right, we take a look at this next one here. Unilag Senate picks acting VC. Registrar fails to stop action. All right, and then below the headline, the banner headline, we have Mali transition government talks stalled. Beside the picture story, CBN moves against Forex over invoicing. You can actually pick a copy of the Nation newspaper to get the details of these stories and even more. And that does it for the Nation newspaper this morning.
All right, let's take a look at the Guardian newspaper this morning. The big headline here, banks, telcos defy recession as COVID-19 pandemic lingers. That's on page 2 of the Guardian newspaper. Still below that, Obasanjo, Tambuwal's meeting stirs PDP. Sources allege plan to oust Secondus, stop Atiku. Atiku ahead of Tambuwal says ex-VP's aide. Party boot chair sues for calm. That's on page 2. I mean, you remember Tambuwal and Atiku sometime last year, 2019 or so, before 2019. Both of them were clamoring for the tickets, and Atiku actually emerged to be the flag bearer for PDP for the last elections. So it won't be out of place if Tambuwal is trying to come out again too.
We've actually seen, or stories have been making rounds about his consultation. He was with Obasanjo a couple of days back, trying to consult him over his ambition, and also it's not out of place, like you said.
All right, let's go below that. Senate Spitfire flays NTA Star Times on fruitful partnership. That's on page 3. And beside that, federal government is threatening pre-boarding testing against COVID-19 transmission. That's on page 3. IDPs lament death of 30 pregnant women in Wasa camp. 30. Wow, that's on page 5. And I'll take this last story. Unilag Senate appoints Ogunshola as new acting VP. That's on page 6. Congratulations there. So that does it for the Guardian newspaper this morning.
Let's quickly take a look at headlines from the Daily Sun this morning. Beside the nameplate, anger in Southeast over Enugu massacre. Talking about clashes or the clash between IPOB and some security operatives that left numbers of people dead as well.
Yeah, that sprung up in the headlines yesterday as well.
I saw that story and I was really taken aback. All right, the banner headline we have from the Daily Sun reads, FG declares Bayelsa, Katsina, Kebbi, Borno, Taraba bankrupt as economy shrinks by 6.1% in Q2. That can be found on page 2. And we have this story here concerning the fight against corruption with the caption, EFCC probe, I never conspired to witch hunt Magu. That is coming from Malami. And that story can be found on page 26 of the Daily Sun newspaper. Below the picture story, Edo Assembly invasion, court orders suspect remanded in police custody. APC asked judge to withdraw from suit against Ize Iyamo over alleged bias. You can check that out on page 9 and 27 of the Daily Sun. And I'll take this last one here, which is almost at the footnote of this national daily. Nigeria gets WHO polio-free certificate today. You can actually get that on page 6. And I wish that can be said about coronavirus.
True. All right, let's take a look at the Nigerian Tribune newspaper this morning. How COVID-19 oil price crash worsened Nigeria's economy. GDP shrank by 6.1% in second quarter. Transports, construction, real estate, education sectors contracted. That's coming from the MBS. And recession highly likely in third quarter, LCCI says. That's on page 6. Above the nameplate, gunmen kill one, just as 3 students feared kidnapped in Kaduna. That's on page 27. Still beside that, we invest $1.5 billion annually on Nigeria's humanitarian crisis. That's coming from the UN, and that's on page 2. And I'll go sharply below the picture nameplate there. My 4 weeks battle with COVID-19. That's coming from Segun Awolowo. That's on page 19. Amechi's lawyer list. Lloyd joins Rivers PDP. That's on page 2. Well, you can get hold of that story, other stories on the front newspaper of the Punch. Well, that does it for the Nigerian. That does it for the Nigerian Tribune newspaper this morning.
Okay, now from the front page of the Punch newspaper this morning, we have the following headlines. The big bold headline reads, FG won't be able to service rising debt fund budget. That is coming from MAN, that is Manufacturers Association of Nigeria, and others. That can be found on page 17. And the follow-up to that story reads, things are tough for average consumer, inflation going up, still coming from the manufacturers. Tackle rising inflation, unemployment, says Lagos Chamber of Industry. Channel Forex into productive sectors, reduce leakages, NECA advises FG, that advises federal government. And below that, or below the picture story, we have Unilag Senate withdraws suit against Ogundipe sacking, appoints acting VC. That can be found on page 27. And on page 1, 4, and 6, suspected serial killer hacks Ogun community leader to death. Sad one right there. And I think yesterday we got the news that he has been rearrested again. Yeah. I think it's better that way before he will go ahead to cause more mayhem in the society. All right, beside that, Assembly probes Lagos 3 missing helicopters, summons officials. You can check page 9 of the Punch newspaper for detail of that particular story. And then the picture story I see is all about the recruitment or NYC people back in camp. You can actually pick a copy of the Punch newspaper to find out what that is all about. And above the nameplate, 331,003 jobs losers withdraw 116.87 billion naira from pension accounts. That story can be found on page 19 of the Punch newspaper. And I'll take these few headlines below that here. With Igbo unions condemn Enugu killings, drivers protest members' death. And then the last story I'll be taking from the Punch newspaper this morning reads, international passengers who evade Nigerian test face travel ban. That is coming from PDF, and that story can be found on page 11 of the Punch newspaper. That does it for the Punch newspaper this morning.
Yeah, and that does it for the dailies this morning. So coming up next, we'll be having our guest via Zoom with us this morning in person of Mr. Michael Dugere. Remember, I said he's a lawyer with the Austin Peters and Co. in Lagos, and he's a corporate lawyer. So join us again. We'll be right back.
My name is Chiwendu Osisiago, presenter at Television Nigerian Business Daily. In a globalizing world, ours is to keep you engaged, informed, and educated on contemporary happenings in the business world. We therefore command a special audience of business-minded viewers who are eager to know more about business and your business. Why don't you take advantage of our special affordable offer to let the world know about your concepts, your goods, and of course, your services? You can call us on 080-3071-6959 or 070-3234-9054. You can also visit us at Television Nigerian in Guzapi, Abuja, and follow us on all our social media handles on Facebook, YouTube, and of course, on Twitter at Television Nigerian. Your business is our concern.
There are a lot of false information about the coronavirus. These are the facts. People of all ages can be affected by the coronavirus. However, older people and people with pre-existing medical conditions such as asthma, diabetes, heart diseases are more vulnerable to the disease. It is not for old people alone. Gargling salt and warm water or chewing garlic and ginger cannot prevent the virus. Drinking alcohol, hot lemon, palm oil or chloroquine will not kill the virus. The virus cannot be transmitted through mosquito bites. Antibiotics do not work against the viruses. Antibiotics work only against bacteria. Boiling pineapple peels, lime and ginger does not kill the virus. Putting raw onions in rooms will not ward off the virus. Using or spraying Dettol, special oils, and water all over your body cannot kill the virus. There is no scientific evidence that cooking, drinking, or eating any of these is an effective treatment for coronavirus. Do not self-medicate and take responsibility by sharing only verified messages from health authorities such as NCDC, Federal Ministry of Health, and WHO.
All right, welcome back. In case you just joined us, this is still Daybreak Africa. So before we went on that break, we said we'll be bringing our guest in the studio with us, Mr. Dungeri. So Mr. Dungeri is with us this morning. Good morning, Mr. Dungeri. I'm sorry for that pronunciation. Can you hear us, Mr. Michael? Hello? Network there. Mr. Michael, can you hear us? No, I think the network is actually bad there. Or...
No, he's supposed to join us. He's supposed to join us to talk about the Karma Act 2020. We've actually touched on it as one of our major concerns earlier on
this morning.
And then I think it would be nice if the network would permit us so that we hear him and then he actually explained this law extensively to us.
He drops quite a handful of information and explanation there for Nigerians to understand better if the network permits. Yeah. All right, I have a couple of questions for him. Mr. Michael, good morning. Can you hear us?
Barrister, are you there?
The Honorable Barrister, are you there? Wow.
Okay, like we were saying, the Karma Act.
Yeah.
And then ordinarily, I don't know if the inclusion of these religious bodies and then the non-governmental organizations
and the human rights
are not included in this bill or in this law. Would it have generated, do you think it would have generated much of these controversies been generating? Like, I'm not really putting you on the spot, but I just want us to talk about it.
You know, it's a normal phenomenon in life. When people are faced with situations that they can't handle, they tend to voice out. They will naturally want to say their mind.
True.
If you put me, I mean, I am also a business owner. So let's say probably the reason why I am not even talking now because I don't feel affected.
Yeah.
You understand? So I'm not talking. But then if these bodies feel that it's going to affect them one way or the other, ordinarily we expect them to make a
and apart from that, you know, the sensitivity of some of these bodies being involved in this act is something else. We all know that most times what we tend to face from this part of the world is actually highly sensitive when it has to do with ethnic groups and then religion and then political parties or political inclinations. Because
you know, the other time with me, myself, you and Susan, we're talking about, okay, these religious homes that we're talking about, they've tried to claim or fail. Let's check if Mr. Michael can hear us now.
Barrister, can you hear us now? Hello, Barrister.
Mr. Michael, can you hear us now?
Okay, like we were saying, yeah.
So I was saying, you know, she was talking because it looks like a lot of people make noise that, oh, these religious houses, they make money, blah, 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 this one, they don't pay taxes, this. So why should they make a lot of views? Okay, let's go on the break now. We'll be right back. Join us again.
Your body bang, bang, your body bang, 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 your body bang, bang, your body bang. Fire, fire, fire. And I give us when you take a selfie, when you take a pose, you the ginger the boy. Every time you bend the low, I'm okay when you take a selfie. When you take a pose, you the ginger the boy. Every time you bend the low.
Want to shoot a dope music video at 50% discount?
50% discount?
Yeah, 50% discount. Bougie Down to Television Nigerian with world-class equipment and a badass expert crew.
Oga, face your camera now. Shh. Continue.
Where was I? Everything extra.
Carolina, you bada.
Hurry up.
I know say you know this thing you did do, my girl, say you know. Your body is big and I know say you know.
Benignant Trading Group is a conglomerate of partnerships. Partnership with you. Partnership through investment for profit, investment for returns, cutting across various corporate business spheres. Benignant offers you credible 15% returns on all investment with us. Benignant Trading Group, your choice's investment management company, has become a reality with the marketplace administrators carefully selected as young bright minds who would spearhead this move into creating more prosperity and distributing them. This is what we mean by benignant. So come, be benignant with our increasing community of happy and enthusiastic investors. Why not call us at any of our offices closest to you or dial our number? You'll be glad you did. You deserve the benignant touch.
BTG is your friend. BTG is your partner. BTG is your handbag. Yes, we are that flexible to become your handbag. We are your servants too. In the sense that we are using our information we've gathered, the knowledge we've come into, the understanding and mastered to bring you profit. Yeah, BTG takes the risk for you. BTG is your conduit to become better. We also give you return on investment on a monthly basis. Formerly it was 6%, but now it's from 7% to 15% return on investment monthly, which is categorized by capital.
You can call us on 0907 685 9446 or 0909 22 97081 or visit us on www.benignantcg.com.
Your body bang, bang, your body bang, 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 your body bang, your body bang. Fire, fire, fire. And I give us when you take a selfie, when you take a pose, you the ginger the boy. Every time you bend the low, I'm okay when you take a selfie. When you take a pose, you the ginger the boy. Every time you bend the low.
Want to shoot a dope music video at 50% discount?
50% discount?
Yeah, 50% discount. Bougie Down to Television Nigerian with world-class equipment and a badass expert crew.
Oga, face your camera now. Shh. Continue.
Where was I? Everything extra.
Carolina, you bada.
Hurry up.
I know say you know this thing you did do, my girl, say you know. Your body is big and I know say you know.
Now the match don't start. Tunde na him first catch coronavirus. Him pass am to Sarah. Sarah go market and she dash Adamu. Adamu carry the virus run come give him children for house. Now so the children carry the virus enter playground. From playground, e come enter grandpa body. Grandpa take over, pass and give him friends as they shake hand for road. Now so grandpa friends carry coronavirus go their house. Before you know, they don't throw away and give everybody for yard. Now so corona enter box 18 and he say go! My people, if we give coronavirus chance, it go win all of us. Protect yourself and your family. Stay inside your house and make sure say you dey wash your hand with soap and water at least 12 times a day. If you get cough and fever and it dey hard you to breathe, call 0800 026 7662. Corona dey kill. Make we careful o.
Alright, welcome back. There's still Daybreak Africa here on television, Nigeria. Welcome back from the break. So we still have Mr. Michael with us via Zoom, although we're having network challenges this morning. So we'll try again now. Mr. Michael, can you hear us? Network is bad then.
It's really bad.
It's really very
Can you hear me?
Yes,
yes,
we
yes,
can
we hear you
Good
now.
morning, star.
Can you hear me?
We can hear you, Mr. Michael.
It's either one way. It's either we're hearing him, he's not hearing us, or we are hearing him, he's not hearing us. It's
all right. The network is bad for now. Just for now. So we'll probably move on to our next package because of time. We'll be going across Africa to get the news.
Welcome to News Across Africa on Daybreak Africa. The headquarters of an investigative newspaper was set ablaze on Monday by unidentified assailants. The media outlet was said to have previously angered the government by leaking confidential documents earlier this year. The privately owned Canal de Mozambique has been openly critical of the regime. Now, Mozambican police have not yet commented on the incident, which has been denounced by journalists and rights groups. A journalist at the Canal de Mozambique said that the attack represented a serious blow to the freedom of the press, one of the foundations of democracy. Government officials have accused media outlets of undermining state security through his work. President Alassane Ouattara filed his candidacy on Monday for the Independent Electoral Commission. The announcement to run for a controversial third term has led to violence that left 8 people dead. In quote, he said, "I have said on many occasions that democracy means representing the deadlines and procedures related to the preparations of elections. I am therefore pleased to have taken this step for the presidential election of October 31, 2020, end quote, declared Alassane Ouattara. Over the weekend, there were new inter-ethnic violence in the wake of his party's inauguration, led at least 2 deaths in Divo northwest of Abidjan. Ouattara's change of heart has heightened tensions before October 31 vote, which takes place in the shadow cast by violence following 2010's election that killed around 3,000 people. The constitution limits presidents to 2 terms, but 78-year-old Ouattara, who has served 2 5-year terms since 2010, and his supporters argue that a 2016 constitutional tweak reset the clock. Mali's military junta denied it had decided on a 3-year blueprint for restoring civilian rule. Discussion with the regional mediators on the makeup and goals with the junta resumed on Monday. The spokesman for the military said, "I would like to make it clear that at this stage of the discussions with the ECOWAS mediation team, nothing has been decided. At no time has there been any talk of a government with a military majority and so on. Any decision regarding the size of the transition, the transitional president, the formation of the government will be made among Malians with political parties, socio-political groups, trade unions, signatory groups, civil society in accordance with our first declaration," said Colonel Ismaili Wague, spokesman for the military junta. The bloc's leaders are to confer in a virtual summit on Wednesday as to how to proceed, mindful of Mali's last coup in 2012, which led to a regional revolt. Mali's borders were closed upon their decision and issued threats to impose sanctions against the coup leaders. The borders were later reopened by the junta. An armed group in the Democratic Republic of Congo has declared a unilateral ceasefire. The Cooperative for the Development of Congo has been condemned by United Nations for massacres akin to crimes against humanity. The group, made up of Lendu people, has historically clashed with the Hema people in a conflict that has killed at least 636 people this year. As the head of state says, "We are stopping with the atrocities," said Bazasupa, the spokesman for the Codeco militia. "We are ready to grasp this outstretched hand, which is why we tell our people to first respect this process, to be calm while we move forward." End quote. The agreement follows President Felix Tshisekedi's appeal to suspend their attacks on their ethnic rivals. The eastern province of Ituri has been the scene of violence since December 2017. It escalated after the army launched a crackdown on armed groups last October. And that is the much we have for you on News Across Africa. Daybreak Africa continues shortly.
Welcome back. That was News Across Africa there. So it's time to move to our next package on the program, which is the Healthy Living. So let's move to the Healthy Living desk now.
To another episode of Healthy Living. Today's topic is stress management. Stress management. If you're living with high level of stress, you are putting your entire well-being at risk. Stress wreaks havoc on your emotional equilibrium as well as your physical health. It narrows your ability to think clearly, function effectively, and enjoy life. Effective stress management, on the other hand, helps you break the whole stress has on your life, so you can be happier, healthier, and more productive. The following stress management tips can help you do that. 1. Identify the source of stress in your life. Do you define stress as an integral part of your work or home life, or as a part of your personality? Do you blame your stress on other people or outside events, or view it as entirely normal and unexceptional? Until you accept responsibilities for the role you play in creating or managing it, your stress level will remain outside your control. Secondly, practice the 4 A's of stress management, which are avoid, alter, adapt, and accept. Avoid unnecessary stress. Learn how to say no. Know your limits and stick to them, whether in your personal or professional life. Taking no more than you can handle is a software recipe for stress. Distinguish between the shoulds and the musts, and when possible, say no to taking on too much. Avoid people who stress you out. Analyze your schedules, responsibilities, and daily tasks. Alter the situation. If you can't avoid a stressful situation, try to alter it. Often, this involves changing the way you communicate and operate in your daily life. Express your feelings instead of bottling them up. Create a balanced schedule. All work and no play is a recipe for burnout. Try to find a balance between work, family, life, social activities, and solitary pursuits. Daily responsibilities and downtime. Adapt to the stressor. If you can't change the stressor, change yourself. You can adapt to stressful situations and regain your sense of control by changing your exceptions and attitude. Adjust your standard. Perfectionism is a major source of affording